Hi! Thanks for joining me again today. We're going to be making a coconut curry lentil soup this afternoon, and I hope you enjoy it. So we're going to start with the ingredient list. We have coconut oil. You can use olive oil or butter if you want to do that too. 1 large onion. Recipe says 2 cloves of garlic. I'll probably use 2, 4, 6 or so. Some fresh ginger, tomato paste, which I don't have out yet, curry powder, which I do have out, red pepper flakes, vegetable broth, which I'm also missing at the moment, some coconut milk, can of diced tomatoes. It's actually half a can because it calls for 400 ml, and this is 796, so we're going to put half of it in the fridge and use for something else. Some lentils, chopped kale or spinach, salt and pepper, and then of course some cilantro. You could add some sour cream to this if you wanted to. The recipe that I'm working off of is a vegan recipe. You can make the sour cream vegan, or if you're not vegan, you could use regular dairy sour cream. All up to you. So first thing we're going to do is we heat up the coconut oil and then fry the onions, garlic, and ginger. So I'm going to get those chopped and into the bowl. Oh, I think my knife needs to be sharpened. I had a hard time getting through that onion peel, onion skin. Do this. Well, there are so many tips and tricks on how to cut onion without crying too much. I have been told that if you don't cut the core, it won't make you cry. Or if you rinse it with cold water. Wearing contacts helps, I understand. You know, somebody put ski goggles on before cutting the garlic, or the onion, sorry. What else? Keep holding a spoon in your mouth. I have a few pictures of people doing that, but I won't share them on here. They might not appreciate it. This one isn't too strong. My eyes are just starting to moisten up a little bit. So there is 1 onion chopped. I guess if I move the stuff out of the way, you could watch me a little bit better. Okay. There is our onion. Now, please don't pay too much attention to the brands. They're just whatever there happens to be here. Oh, yeah, the onion is there now. I'm going to take a moment to recuperate, and then I will be back. I'm going to use my fancy spoon again to peel the ginger. And this recipe does suggest grating the ginger. I am still going to cut it with a knife. I find it easier for me. If you prefer to grate it, then you go ahead and do that. There are all sorts of different devices sold to help make that a little bit easier, and I like the knife. And since I'm the one in the kitchen, I'm going to do it the way I want it to. It's one of the reasons I like being in the kitchen. This is a little bit of a oddness around it. Cut that off. Getting a little old, but it's still very firm and juicy, so we have a good piece of ginger here. Ginger, similar to garlic, when you're purchasing it, if you are getting a fresh ginger root, you want to make sure that it is very firm and heavy for its size. That means that there's more stuff in it, or juices and flavors and nutrients and just goodness. Goodness gracious. Okay. Ginger chopped up. I should see about recruiting somebody to do all the chopping for me while I do the rest of the stuff. Oh, my one eye is still watering from that onion. Okay, so the recipe called for a tablespoon of fresh ginger. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I have more than that. I personally find that most recipes don't have enough ginger, spice, or garlic for my liking. So I normally start with more. Very seldom have I regretted that decision. There's our ginger. And then it's the garlic. Over. So again, it calls for 2 cloves. I'm going to use more. It'll take me a while longer to prep it, but this is all I have left in this one, so we're just going to go ahead and use it. Ooh. And again, I'm squishing those. It helps to get the skins off. It also helps to bring out the flavors. It bruises it and gets the juice out more. It's funny, some things we don't eat once they've been bruised and others are better. Humans are so particular. Oh, that one's got a bad spot. That's the other reason I use more garlic sometimes. It's because you never know when you're going to find a yucky spot on the garlic, and then you want to make sure you have enough out anyways. Or I do anyways. Okay, I'll be right back again. Oh, okay, back. We're gonna cut those ends off. And I might even take this whole part out. I don't know if people want to watch me chopping stuff. Sometimes it's nice to see different ways to do things. Sometimes it's just boring and you need to fast forward. I guess I could always tell you how far to fast forward it. Might work. Let's see. And oh, there's a piece of skin. Garlic is so sticky if it's good garlic, which is nice. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to give this a quick chop. I like the look of that piece. It's humid, my hair is everywhere today. Now, if I was using this raw, then I would squish it down and try to turn it more into a garlic paste. If we're making cheese ball or a dip with raw garlic, then you can do that simply by squishing it down with the edge of your knife. And you get a really fine, nice paste. But for today's recipe, this is going to suffice. And there's my garlic. Okay, so I'm going to put some coconut oil in the pan, put the garlic, ginger, and onion in, and fry that up a little bit, and I'll be back in a moment. So there is the coconut oil in the pot, about a tablespoon, a little bit of a generous tablespoon. And it's on, and it's going to start melting. Once that's heated up, we're going to add the, what are we going to add? Once that's heated up, we're going to add the garlic, ginger, and onion and cook that for a few minutes. There, our coconut oil is heated. You can see it's making little waves when I move it. You might be able to see that, might not. That's when you can tell oil is hot enough. Grab my bowl. Grab a spoon and dump that in. I love these flavors. Okay, so the onions, garlic, and ginger are cooking behind me, and we're going to start putting the rest of the stuff together. Oh, tomato paste or ketchup. Okay, I forgot that part. And well, I don't have tomato paste, so I'm going to be using ketchup in this recipe. We'll see how it goes. So we're going to add the tomato paste, curry powder, red pepper flakes, and that's going to cook for 1 minute. 2 tablespoons of curry powder. We're going to put, oh perfect. This is a spicy curry powder. You can use a mild or spicy, obviously, because you're the one that's going to be eating it. So again, any recipe, change it, change it, change it. It's a great starting point. That's really all it is, great starting point. Okay, so I got my, I need half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Half a teaspoon, I'm going to put that in with the curry powder. And then we're adding about 2 tablespoons of ketchup, which I'm just going to glop into the pan. Okay, I'm going to bring you over to the pan so you can see what it looks like before I put the rest of the stuff in. So there, that's been cooking for a few minutes. The onions, you can't really see it in the camera, I don't think. They're becoming translucent. We don't want them to really get brown. We do have some brown spots here. Or I guess I have some brown spots here. You really want to cook the onions on a low temperature. And my pan was a little overheated. So I'm just going to add the, what am I adding? Red pepper flakes and the curry powder. And then about 2 tablespoons of ketchup. I can tell you, probably using one hand, how many times I've cooked with ketchup. 1 tablespoon probably, whoops. There. Okay, now we have our curry powder. Let that cook for another minute to enhance the flavors. It also helps the spices to not taste like powder. And cook them down a bit. I'm going to leave that, and I will be back again. Okay, so now we are going to add to this our broth, which I'm using water, and then I have some already out. I might have to add a little bit more, but we're going to start with that. Broth, the coconut milk, and diced tomatoes and the lentils. There we go. And diced tomatoes. Now the tricky part is I'm going to pour this from this can one-handed, and I want half of the can in there roughly. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. I'll give that a stir. That is going to simmer for a while, And then when we come back, we are going to almost have some soup. I just have to add the spinach. Be back in about half an hour. Okay, we're back. This has been simmering on the stove for a while. I'm just going to show it to you, and then we're going to add the spinach. Just 1 second here. So there it is. Mix that up. There we go. And then we're going to chop the spinach, 3 handfuls. You can use spinach or kale. Okay, so I have my spinach. Now this container is a little old. I need 3 handfuls. And I am going to go through to make sure we get all the yucky bits out, because that does happen. There we go. Generally find it easier to get the greens like that if I'm not getting them fresh from a garden. And I bought this a few days more ago than I wish I had of. I thought I was going to be able to use it up, so we're going to have something else with spinach. Okay, now one thing about spinach is it seems like it's a whole lot, but then once it starts to cook, it goes down to pretty much nothingness. I'm just going to roughly chop this. Okay, and then I'm going to put the spinach into the pot. Give it another stir. We'll see what that looks like. Okay, you can see the spinach in the pot, and it's nice and green. We don't want to cook it mushy, we just want it to wilt, and then that will be ready. And this also would be really good with some nice fresh crusty bread. I might end up doing naan. I'm not really too sure what I'm going to have with it. Could add some rice. Some nice brown rice would help to complete the protein from the lentils. And there we have our red lentil curry soup. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.